Be careful, you never really know what you'll find down in the sewers. I know you're looking up right now and you can see the crack in this pipe. Well, here's the problem. When this pipe is buried 3 or 4 feet deep under a house and it's covered with mud, you can't always see that. I know plumbers that actually come out, run a camera in a sewer system and tell people there are no leaks. But to be honest, unless you fill this pipe with water and it actually leaks out up here, you may never know. I mean, think about it. If this is covered with mud, you may not ever see the crack. The mud is going to come down and fill it, so you really may not see it at all, unless there's roots or anything like that growing in it. Now, like I said, I know a lot of plumbers that'll come out, run a camera through a sewer system and say everything's fine. They get their money, they leave. Problem is, 6 months to a year down the road, the new home buyer actually has problems and has to have sewer lines replaced. That's what we're running into, and that's what we're making this video for, to try to tell people, make sure you do a sewer water test, not just a camera test. Okay, now this is very easy to see. You see how big this crack is? Now this is actually shot with the sewer camera coming right along the top of the pipe. Now, what I want to explain to you is that all this up here, all this crud, this is actually rust, it's corrosion, it's everything built up on the pipe. Now, on the inside of the pipe, you can see how rough it is. And you can also see by the rust on the inside, this crack happened a long time ago. Now, I wonder how many problems they had in this house from roots or anything like that growing down in through it, or what kind of problems they may have had. This may be the very first video you've seen on YouTube shot with a sewer camera. Anyway, look inside the pipe too and see how rough it is. Now, there's nothing wrong with that, but baby wipes, things like that get caught up inside cast iron pipes like this, and really, that creates a lot of problems. Because when they get caught up like that, you saw how rough it is, it's like sandpaper. Anything going down here is gonna get caught up. Even toilet paper is actually gonna get caught up here. And what this can lead to is, if you don't have enough water pushing things behind it, it may not break that toilet paper down, it may not break the flushable wipes down, because they're caught up on the side of the pipe. So this is a case where if the pipe didn't have a crack in it, I might actually recommend to the homeowner about running a chain through there to clean it up. We've actually got some pipe cleaner that we could put in here that would actually scrub the inside of this and eat some of that away. Now, the problem is, if there's too many cracks or anything like that, the corrosion on the inside could actually be plugging it up and keeping it from leaking. So what we're doing right now, we've actually got the sewer camera stuck inside the old cast iron pipe. We installed a 45 here on the end so we can actually drop toilet paper down in here, pour water in, and see how well it goes through this pipe and comes out on the other end. So we're just gonna take, a little bit of toilet paper, maybe as much as somebody would use, maybe a little more. All right, nothing crazy, but stick that down in there. And then, this is probably about 1.5 gallons of water. We're probably not gonna pour the whole thing in, but we're gonna pour it down in there just to see. Now, as you can see, we got the fall right. There's not a lot of water standing in the pipe at the bottom. The clog is way up here. And our sewer camera is way back here. Actually, you can see the lights right here. So it clogged up here on the rough part of the pipe. So what I want to do is actually take the sewer camera out. And as you see, that toilet paper made it in about a foot and got stopped up right there. What that means is the inside of the pipe actually grabbed the toilet paper. This is a soft stoppage. Eventually this is gonna go down, because if you kept flushing this toilet and it filled up with water, what's gonna happen is that water is gonna build up there and it's gonna create a little bit of a pressure against that toilet paper. And the toilet paper is gonna start disintegrating because of the water. So eventually it's gonna give up and wash out. This is how come houses get stopped up quite often. The soft toilet paper gets caught in the inside of the cast iron pipe and eventually clogs up so much. Think about it, if you had toilet paper, poop, feminine products, anything at all in here that are gonna be more solid and start building up, those things are not gonna wash away as easy with the water. So while I've got this in here, I'm gonna go ahead, pull the camera to the other end, look at it again, and then I'm gonna pour the rest of the bucket of water in here just to see what happens. Okay, I'm gonna stop the camera right here so I'm about 1 foot in from the end, and my toilet tissue clog is actually 2 more feet down. I've got about a gallon of water left in here. Let's pour it in here and see what happens. Now, as you can see, the same thing. We've got the clog right here, so it's really not letting anything go past it. The water's slowly going by it, which is what's gonna happen. And as you see, it's filling it up so much that it's coming out the crack on the top right down here. And yes, you can see that clog is still in there, and it's caught up on the pipe on both sides. Now you can see there's not much water. I mean, yeah, there's a little bit standing in there, but as you see, it's still running out. So we don't have it in at backfall, so it's not like we're trying to push the clog uphill or anything. And when you come in from this way, see how we're holding water right there? On a soft stoppage, that's eventually gonna eat that toilet tissue away and pull it out where it'll run all the way down. So what we've done here today is show you how the inside of your cast iron pipes actually look and what kind of problems you may have under a house that you may not even be aware of. It's real easy to see the crack right now because there's so much light in here. We've got so much light in there, and there's no mud filling this up. Literally, we have stuck cameras inside pipe before, and you cannot see the crack. You cannot see a break, and maybe the break isn't this big. I mean, on one end, this was opened up almost a ½ an inch. Down on this end, I mean, it's still touching. There are times that maybe this crack is only this big. It's not cracked big enough to open all the way up. You may never see it, but you could still be leaking water out under your slab, and that's gonna cause foundation problems. If you're looking at buying a house that's older than 10 or 20 years old, you may wanna do a sewer water test. We actually recommend them to any home buyer because if there's leaks under the house that you buy, you're gonna end up being responsible for making the repairs. But a sewer water test, where we actually fill this with water, as you could see, I was pouring it in down here and it was coming out of the pipe here prior to the clog. So we know that if we had a test ball in the end of the line and tried filling everything, it would not hold water. What's causing the clogs in your house, and what do the inside of the pipes look like on the house that you're trying to buy? I hope this helped you out and hope it helps you understand why it's so important to do a sewer water test and what cracks in your cast iron pipe are gonna look like and what they're gonna do. If you're a home buyer and you've ever bought a house and had sewer problems later and had to replace the sewer, do me a favor and leave me a comment down below. If you're a plumber and you've ever had to go into a house that somebody just bought and replace sewer pipe, do me a favor and let me know. Number one, how did you locate it? Was it with just a camera or test balls and a water test? Or did you just kind of figure out because water started coming up out of the floor? Anyway, a sewer water test is the right way to do it, and I hope that's what you're doing today. I'm Roger Wakefield, Lead AP, the expert plumber. I'll see you in the next video if you don't get flushed.